All right, let me know if you can hear me. Thanks for, I guess we got 27 people watching, so thanks for coming out. I'll mix a little bit of this bossa bossa music, bossa bossa in the background. But so today I want to do something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, and that's actually focus in on the GPLRank and see if we can get to see if we can actually get to a good rank, or if I can actually get to a good rank within GPLRank. So let me pull up a couple things just to show, because I'm assuming not everybody's going to be familiar with GPLRank. Let's see if I can show it without showing my whole life. So GPLRank came around, I think, around the advent of GPL, specifically so that you could have some race against. All right, I'm showing it. So specifically, so you could have some kind of goal to race against, you would have to, when you got the game, you would do races offline, of course, but if you were having internet quick enough to actually go race against other people was not a reality for most. So people actually did what's called the GPLRank. It's basically a lap time board, and what you can do in there, times on all the tracks with all the different cars, and then you would get a rank based off of that, and you could compare that to your friend's time and see who had actually done a quicker set of laps around different tracks. So it's something that a lot of people have invested in, and something that I personally have not spent a ton of time doing. I bet there's a lot of fast laps that I have done that haven't actually made it into the GPLRank. So how it works is, let's take a look at the 107%. So I'm going to specifically be concentrating today on the original GPLRank. So this would be the tracks that came with the sim, and for each of these you need time driving, and then if your time is quicker than the benchmark time, you essentially get what is 100% of the I'm cutting out for the occasional moments. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Let's see. Let me know if it's just the mic dropping, or if you also hear the music dipping out too. But I'm gonna see if I can crank up the volume a little bit. But let me know how that's working. So what I was talking about. So if I go back to GPLRank, if I go back to the rank here. So this, drop this a little bit down. Still getting used to this live streaming thing. All right. So if we look at GPL, but I think I probably fixed it. So if we look at the GPLRank, right, our benchmark times for each circuit are posted here, and you can see where I'm at currently. But this really doesn't reflect much. To actually get your times into here, you have to upload your replay files or your save files, and that will actually get you uploaded and everything. So I've only done that maybe a couple times ever, and so I actually want to get sub 100% on every circuit, and to take this a little further, you can actually show it by chassis, or if I actually go into like show my ranks, you can see by car it's actually broken out. So I figured for this it'd be easier to pick a quick car. I'm trying to figure out why this would be cutting out randomly. Well, let's get rid of our music. Maybe that'll help a little bit. So We could pick obviously a really quick car like the Lotus and have an easier time at it, but I would love to get sub 1 on every one of the and see if we could actually do it that way. So what we can do here is take a look at what the times would be for 107% or the 100% time. Go way down. So I know I have some beating here, but I figure we can start at Monza, and I'm going to use the Brabham car. And so this time I have to beat is a 130.2. And since default Grand Prix Legends stuff, figured I'll use default stock sim. I don't want any chance of me cheating by having a different track or something like that. So I've got a bunch of different installs of Grand Prix Legends. Figured I will use my default of default one that I've used before on the channel for some stuff. So let me close out of some of these windows. Here we go. Open up Gem Plus. So we have install. So this is like as stock as you could get it with just some of the niceties of modern Grand Prix Legends. So I've got like the no letterbox mode, and I'm able to set my proper resolutions and everything, but all the tracks, all the cars, physics, everything is stock. Be any chance of cheating that way. But what we can do is jump in the sim, and we will see, jump into training here. So we'll go to Monza first, and we need the 130.2 time. Qualify or get into the rank. So I've got full stock setups and everything, so we'll have to tinker quite a bit in here. I know I'm installed, but it's probably not happening. So I'll definitely lower the fuel, but I'm not taking a super scientific approach. I know I could go and download some super quick setups, but I don't think it's going to take that much, quick enough for this. So let me just jump up, make my tire pressures even. 85/30. That'll be fine to start with the ramp angles. I got 16:1 steer use. Got ride heights. I'm actually going to bump up the ride height a little bit, which is a little against what you would normally think. Brake bias, 58 is fine. And then I'm going to actually make the back end a little softer. And I'm going to leave the front at 90. I'm going to save this as Brabham. Monza, or let's call it Monza rank, because this setup will only show up for the Brabham anyway. All right, so why don't we go? I'm going to do a quick lap. So I do have the so you can see right at the very top of the screen is the lap times. Let me know how the volume of the voice is against the engine, because apparently I've gotten all my settings backwards. But I'm going to go out here and do a quick run around and see how good we can get here. And the bone stock GPL is not the pretty sim, but all the little pieces are there for what we're used to today. So I gotta beat that 130.202. So we'll see. Now in the bone stock Grand Prix Legends, the tires take forever to come up to temp. So it's going to take us a good number of laps just to get the car to optimal settings, but maybe 3 or 4 laps, honestly. All right. Voice is 10, car sounds are about 3. All right, let's see real quick what we can do about this. I had this perfect streamed, and I don't know why suddenly everything's different. I don't know what I could do about the audio cutting out. Let's see here. Just see if I can figure out some of these settings. All right, we're gonna jump back in. Yeah, the graphical updates themselves are not going to obviously make me any quicker. However, just for the fun of it, I wanna drive everything bone stock. Idea MK3424. I might have actually added a noise gate onto my mic when I was doing a video here. So give me one more second. I think I might have done it. That's a noise gate on, so that's totally my bad. But you can't always have the settings right, I guess. So, alright, let's see if we can actually get out on the track here and do a couple. Thing about the default sim is you can't even see the gauges at all. All the tack numbers are just blurred. So GPL is actually pretty easy to get installed these days. If you just look up the GPLPS installer, I think they're on version 1.8 now or something, and that basically just asks for the CD or the ISO file and will install all the normal that you need to get the sim running, and then the 1967, good graphics, better than this, for all your cars and tracks. And so that will get you running. You got M+, which is what I was using right before I jumped in the sim to get the the track selection or toggle all your mods on and off, and then you're good to go. I mean, if you want to download the 66 cars or the new 68 mod and stuff, you want then, but to just get up and running with the 67s, which is what I would recommend starting with. Some might have opinions against that, but that's all you need to do. GPLPS install, and away you go. All right, so on my out lap, I did a 139.41, so we just got a nix 9 seconds off that. And I think the gearing needs a little bit of adjusting. Tires are still very cold. Keep that in mind. Taking it nice and easy here. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm topping out in 5th gear pretty early. I do think the sounds for the original Grand Prix Legends is pretty awesome. They've been improved. I mean, these are the stock. These should be the stock sounds, as far as I know. Alright, so this was a mediocre lap here. But we got at the top of the screen, we got our deal lap, which is the very top one. If I hit every sector as good as I've done it, we would get the 133.87, which is what I just got. So every sector was a good one there. Purple would mean I just made a new best lap sector. Alright, getting down in a second. I'm probably actually harder than a lot of folks would have back in the day, because I am doing H pattern, heel and toe, which is not really a default option with GPL as far as I know. I think you only had sequential back in the day. H pattern shifters for the PC didn't really exist in 1998. Very few people had them. So I do have a mod installed that lets you use an H pattern, GPL shift, but I can't really play the sim without it. And I realize I've got the whole, I use an ultra wide monitor, and I didn't change the resolution back to 1080, so I've got the whole thing showing. I can actually go fix that in a few minutes as soon as I bin it. Okay, we're at a 132.05. The car is definitely getting a little more up to temperature now. Braking a little earlier than I need to for the Lesmos, but I don't want to back the car into the guardrail here. No room for errors. Second Lesmo a lot tighter than it is in some of the new sims. I know in play Assetto Corsa quite a bit actually, even though I've never had it on the channel. And in that sim, they've got the 1966 Monza track. A couple of sims do now, and the Lesmos I think are the biggest part you notice that's quite a bit different. Down in a second for the Parabolica here. Alright, we're slowly cracking away at the lap time. 31.4. It's only a matter of time here. Throw it into fourth. Use a little bit of that engine braking here. Going to the first turn. Oh, just missing the apex slightly. Yeah, I am pushing Gary. A little sideways under braking there to check where my brake bias is. Right, up to fifth gear. Give it a little bit of a breath here coming into Ascari. We will lose a lot of time even though we're flat out. You can go flat out through there, but if you don't hit the apex, you lose a lot of time. We're very close to this time here. 30.86. I gotta lose about 6 more tenths. Lock up there on an earlier lap. I saw marks. Losing quite a bit of time on the entry to the second Lesmos. Still bringing our optimal lap down, getting closer and closer to that time. Not quite getting the entry to Ascari right. Wide out of the Parabolica, but carrying quite a bit of speed. So I think this was the first lap I did not get a purple in every sector. 8.4, just losing a couple hundredths that time. We might be topping out on the setup we have a little bit. Oh, I'm just nicking that curve to the inside. It's going to throw away this lap. Just a little bit here. You can, basically, there's no tire wear in the sim. There's no tire wear in the sim. However, you heat up the tires, and at a certain point, the tires get too hot. And they don't grip as well anymore. So you could turn on the tire monitors as well. Tire temp monitors, but screen too much unless folks are interested in that sort of info. Running very deep there. I'll try to capitalize on the exit here since we're on an off lap. So our ideal lap is getting dangerously close. The one we need. Pushing it really hard into the Lesmos there, running super wide. So we might park it here for a second. So we got pretty close down there, but we're gonna run out of fuel soon anyway. So we're gonna take a look here in the pits. What's the resolution to be 1080? This isn't a beard, unfortunately. Take a look at the car setup. So 10 gallons is probably a little too in. Look at our tires. I'm gonna go up on PSI a little bit. That right front is not used very much here at the old Monza. But we'll go up all. A little warmer on the right rear, but should be fine. I'm going to stiffen up the front a little bit. And I'm doing exactly the thing you're not supposed to do and changing like 100 settings at the same time. Diff ratios are low as we can go, so we're going to dip down our 5th gear here. I don't think we need a lot. I'm drinking seltzer, actually. I don't think we need a lot more. A little bit. Just a little bit. But we'll see how that does for us this time. I actually think a decent amount of the default graphics look pretty good. Mike's still cutting out, huh? Remove the noise gate. I think the default be good in most spots. It's the trees in this track specifically that I think are the most offensive part. Down the parabolica here, so we're not quite maxing out anymore in 5th gear, so top speed may be a little bit better, but we have no just feels better. So give it a few laps here to warm the tires back up. I remember thinking originally when I first got Grand Prix Legends, this is the first track I could get. I think that's true for many, since it's got notably less corners and it's a little wider than most of the other circuits. And I remember seeing that the oval on the front stretch turn off to the right there at the end, and wishing I could go around it. It wasn't for a number of years that I ever found the 10K version of this circuit to try out. Time to beat's a 1:30.202. I'd like to beat it, but also, obviously, the quicker you go, the lower your getting negative is the main goal here, but wouldn't mind being a little more negative than just barely scraping by. So I did get a good sector in on this lap, although we're still not up to temp. But we can see across the line here, should be getting close to the point where we can really start pushing at it. Down to a 1:35.7. We're having to do quite a bit of opposite lock on the entry to the corner, never good. Very easy to dive it a little too far in on the first corner and tap the curbing there. Sliding super wide here. Speed corners are the ones that'll get you. Curb not making that any better, so dreadfully slow there. Almost the best time through the Lesmos. Able to make it through Ascari pretty nicely. Just on through that final corner. tricky, but we're in it now for sure. Decent run through the first corner there. Try not to overcook it. It's a nice balance between going way too fast in on entry or going way too slow and just losing time. It wasn't the worst run through there. Just about a tenth off my best. I don't race often with the lap times. It's more about the racing to me normally, but we're going for speed today. Oh, come on, stay to the inside. Gentle on the accelerator. Kind of an interesting line there, but I think it actually felt pretty quick. Shifting a little too soon there. Are we down? Oh, we're so close. 2/10 off. Our ideal lap is within a tenth. Run through the first turn that time, best. I'm through there, sliding it in to the Lesmos, taking a super wide line. Just nicking the grass on the exit. Jumble it up through Ascari, try to keep it tucked in as nice as we can. Oh, and my ideal lap is now down to the time we need, so it is possible. Understeering in the middle there. Getting on the power will help the car come around a bit. I don't think this is going to be it, although we had really good sectors for the first two. Oh, way, we're so close. I'm really pushing now. I've overheated the tires again. Not sure if I need to go up to third there. I might need to make second a little bit longer. So this lap's probably no. Would have overheated the tires once again. Didn't check the brake bias while I was in the garage last time, but now might be a good time for it. So we're so to that time, having done a man. 130.21. So we're not going to get that last digit here. So if I get a 2-0, I'm going to have to keep going. I'm going to have to keep going if I get the 2-0. But we'll see here. So front brake bias 58. So I think I want this more back. Tires, we're still super hot, so I'm gonna actually go up another another PSI or 2. So we'll see how that. Thanks for everybody watching. I got 60 people right now watching me do laps here. I'm not the quickest driver by far, so this might be infuriating for some people to watch. But I'm gonna go a tick up on the second gear. We'll see. I'm going to keep the ramp angles where they are. I know I could put more into accelerate. I can go to 60, and that would certainly kick out the rear if I accelerate, but it will be very hard to handle. I'm using a G27 stock, pretty much everything. The pedals, though, I do have the Bowden cable, and I did a little while back, which you might be able to hear in a couple of the last videos, but I have the Thrustmaster. What is it? Could be 8-speed or 7 and a reverse shifter, so it is pretty awesome. Yeah, I could go electrical, but I want to keep it pretty close to stock. I'm so close here. I'm gonna go a little stiffer on the front to see if that helps, or maybe a little less stiff on the rear. See if that helps with some of the understeering I'm getting. But there, we're obviously not too far off. So, change brake bias. We put it in second, or expanded second gear a little bit. That should hopefully help out of the second Lesmo, between the Lesmos and out of the Parabolicas. All of those spots. Raise the tire temperatures a little bit more, or the tire pressures rather. I think we're so put it all together because my ideal lap time is under the time we need. So we'll have to give it at least a lap to get up to temperature here, so I'm going to take it a little easier. Go hard too soon and bin the car. Watching the comments there and not not the track. Up to the left side a little bit. So I know in my most recent video about the 68 mod, I was talking about how, you know, the 65 to 69 period is complete, which is awesome. But the even better thing, or one in the SRMZ forums, a user, and I cannot remember who, posted a picture of a 1970 car set mod. Cars look great. I think it's the physics that obviously take a lot of the work to do, but I had never seen or heard anything of a 1970 mod coming together, and that would be awesome. I would love to see the early 70s. I think you could pretty realistically go up to the mid 70s, and just the feel of the sim, the way the rules work, the tracks would all still fit, and that's really before they started doing a lot of changes and the safety. So I think it would still really fit with the theme of the sim to go, you know, into 72, 73. My favorite era altogether. I love 60s, but I definitely love the really fat tires and everything of the early 70s. And I can't imagine that a 76 mod would not be the James Hunt, Niki Lauda battles. Car's starting to feel pretty good here. So let's together here. I love in the default Brabham here how low the car looks from the cockpit. It's super unrealistic. We did just get a purple sector there, so we were ready to go. Try to get a good exit here. That was a 30.6, which is not slow by any stretch, and I wasn't really pushing then, so let's see what we can do. Through 5th gear there. Doing too well through the first Lesmos, but I do call them Lesmo, and it's one of them. But yeah, first one, second one, both not tenths off. Coming down to the Parabolica here, hard on the brakes, a little hot that time through. This lap, not altogether very good. We did get another best sector though through the thing. So we're a 10th under with our ideal lap time. We just gotta string it together now. Going right up against the curbing on the inside. Oh, running it way too hot here while I'm tapping the wall. I think I hit it too. Steering wheel feels straight. Ooh, we have a puncture for sure. Oh, so we're so close, but that time not as good of a run as the couple before. Scraping the wall there. Let's see where we're at tire temp wise. They're lowering down a little bit, but I honestly want to go one more tick up on the PSIs. Let's see here. Gonna go stiffer all around. Stiffer all around. The car feels so sloppy. Gearing feels fine. I just gotta put it together. Yeah, you can get all kinds of weird failures when you hit stuff. Whether that be other cars or the walls. Even curbs, if you nail them enough, you can break stuff on the car. I just did been racing this a bit, doing some short races for myself, and did Monaco, and I must have had the most beat up looking car ever at the end of the race. I think I hit pretty much every wall, and I just kept going because You know, it does matter, of course, but it's such a tight, twisty track. The steering wheel I had, it's almost 90 degrees sideways to go straight, and it was a pretty funny race, but I try to pull out my best when I'm racing for a video or doing a stream like this. One thing that does always surprise me about Grand Prix Legends is the default advertising. Papyrus was able to get a lot of licenses for the sim, obviously, but missing a couple, of course, Honda and Cooper, oddly enough. We need a hell of a setup to break this record in the old Ferrari, or sorry, in the old Honda. Done a video on that Honda. It's a fun car to drive, but really slow. This would probably be its best track. It's where it won in real life, but other than this, I can't imagine trying to get rank around Nordschleife or something in the old Honda. Sliding super wide while the tires come up with temperature here. Seems third lap out is where things start to grip up enough. Down into Parabolica here, try to get a good exit once again. Just walking the car up the circuit. Alright, see what we can do here. Just riding that curb so fine there with the right front. So much understeer into the Lesmos here, but doing an okay job with a good line at least. Best time through the Lesmos. Got my ideal time down to a 30 flat. This could be it. Trying not to put too much pressure on myself for the Parabolica here. Sector was pretty good. Scari was pretty good. But running super wide here through the Parabolica. That one. That lap was gonna be it too. 42, 66, 80. I'm just gonna wait for the comments to berate me here. I'm just gonna wait for everybody to berate me. That's so defeating. But I think I've got the right setup now, at least. I think I've got the right one. Let's take a quick look here at. I just broke way too late. I'm trying to push it. Thanks for all the Fs. I love the default face. It's so good. Yeah, Parabolica is such a terrible corner. For me. It's a great one in real life, and I hate that they paved the outside of it, but I always do that. Yeah, so if we look here, let's see where I start braking. Kind of If we look on the left, there's the Coca-Cola sign. That and the Firestone sign. Did a nice donut though. I want to see quickly where I where I broke on a good lap. So let's take a look at lap 13 then. Oop. I've messed up now. Lap 12. I thought for a second. Been playing too much iRacing where you can just. So this is my 13th lap, the one where I got a pretty good time. Wow, and I really missed the Lesmos there to get a good time, but we'll speed on through. Yeah, I got to break right about the first Coca-Cola banner on the left. If we look here, I got my fancy camera editor up so I can actually do a cool spin around the car. That has made some cool new video stuff possible. Guy Lee 200 does these awesome patches. And I just need to spin around to the other side so we can see the fence. But right when we see the car dip, remember to brake. Yeah, it's right about at the Coca-Cola sign. Our cigar-shaped car here. All right, we're gonna do it now. Jimmy, I just got to get you to do some GPL. I know you like the 60s cars based off of all the fun videos you're doing in Assetto Corsa and stuff. To install. I bet you can do it while you're watching this video. And it will look better than this. Yeah, if anybody missed the beginning, do here. I mean, I've got a couple mods obviously to allow me to use modern controls and show times and stuff like that, but tracks, physics, cars, everything's stock because we're going for our GPL ranking, trying to hit basically an optimal time on each circuit. And for Monza here, we're trying to hit a 1:30.202. So my best is a 1:30.21 something. And my ideal lap, my optimal lap, 3 so far with the setup and everything I got. So we can definitely do this. I gotta get the tires up to temperature here for a couple laps. And then just gotta put it all together. And it just so happens that one of the hardest is the final corner. I bet you can actually get this sim to work with a direct drive wheel. But I don't know of anybody that's doing it. You might be in uncharted territory. There are a couple force feedback. I'm actually typically using one of those. I might actually have it on here. Just smooths out, gets rid of some of the forces that aren't actually related to car physics, more just for gaming effect. Get through a scary there. Hit our front straightaway then. So that was our second lap out, so maybe this one will have a little bit of speed this time. Braking maybe a little earlier, maybe just downshifting for the first turn. A little hot there into the Lesmos, but able to save it from the wall. Alright, we got a green time through Ascari that time. A nice braking down through Parabolica. Just curious, wheel spin there. Curious how quick this will be through the final sector. Took it pretty easy there. .5, so 0.3 off. So definitely have to push a little bit. Through 5th gear then. But not quick enough this time. Let's see. Let's see if I can put together a good pair. That's about, I think, as good as we do it there. Yeah, car is pretty pushy. Might have to go for the diff. So the 25.29 through. That felt pretty good. Eager to see if I can actually just put this lap together rather than twiddle with the car more. But if I do raise my coast braking, it's going to be even harder. Oh. Into the bushes there. I don't think that would have damaged the car any. Yeah, we might go with a more aggressive coast, but the speed is in the car with the setup I currently have. This looks to be pretty dang good. Lift a little bit there on the exit to not crush the arm code there coming out of the oval. We might have our front straightaway speed down a bit here. almost full opposite lock to full lock. Of course, that's one of my biggest gripes actually with Grand Prix Legends. I don't talk about very often things I don't like. However, having your wheel only set to 350 degrees kind of dates the sim, and that might be, Jimmy, to your point about using an OSW. I don't know if you can limit the lock, but the sim itself, the wheel really doesn't register past the 320, 350 mark. This lap was mediocre. .41, 2/10. Tires might be getting overheated now. And I might have to play with that diff, because the car does love to sail straight when I let off the throttle. Half a tenth there in the Lesmos. Get the car nice and slowed down here for the Parabolica, sliding a bit wide. Getting that power down. This is going to be a close one. .27. So close. Just so much understeer. I almost feel bad for my old pedals here, creaking away. Give it some nice angle here into the Parabolica. Sliding so wide. .44 there. Losing 3/10. Losing it all. Slow first corner there. I mean, it is funny that they did put Repco on the steering wheel, but didn't bother to put the numbers on the Once again, going quicker and ever quicker through the Scari there. That felt a little nicer. Pretty good parabolic, I think. We'll see what the real time says. 25.27. Not bad. You can tell when I'm concentrating because I'm not talking at all. Lost 2/10 through the Lesmos, but I've worked my optimal time down to a 29.93, so a little wide through Scari. Through there. Getting a little too aggressive with the old throwing it in there. To the parabolic, sliding into the bushes. So we're so close, but not quite there. So I might play with the diff. I feel like I'm going a little bit to the dark side here, playing with the diff, but I don't know if it can be done. So we might up it a little bit. It's going to totally change how the car drives, but that's a good thing, ultimately, but we might be a little here. Basically, I had the car in ultra conservative mode. But pretty consistent lap times overall as in an online race. Yes, ended up in the cabbage. It does look a lot like cabbage here. So what we'll notice now with the car changing the diff is when I get into the corner and I let off the throttle, the car's going to turn a whole lot better than it was before. Watch, we'll just smash it our first time out. A little scared of the diff. I was recently playing with the Ferrari, the 66 312, and was playing around with the diff. It made a very difficult to drive car. The Brabham, probably the middle of the road for cars in Grand Prix Legends. There's a reason why it won 66 and 67 championships. It's a great car. Very, it's not easy to drive. None of the cars in Grand Prix Legends are easy to drive. However, if there was an easiest, or a car I would put somebody in first, it's either the Brabham Those two are definitely probably the easiest to get your mind around, easiest to get your head around. Terrible end of lap there. The car just turns in so much better. I'm on my first real lap. It feels even better than it was after a couple laps. I still need to make sure I slow down enough. Anybody know? There's a little house there before we go under the oval on the right side. I always wondered what that actually is. I'd be interested in learning a little bit. It's one of those that every time I see it, I wonder what it is, but never think of it when I'm not driving. It's 130.8. Car darts around a bit more now, especially off throttle. So my worry in going to a more aggressive diff for coast is that going into the parabolica will be even harder to brake, slow the car down. Hitting an optimal turn. Oh. Through the Lesmo there, but not bad. Just losing a 10th off my ideal time through those. Just grinding away the right front here through Ascari. Put together a decent lap this far. More conservative here, not too conservative through the parabolica. This could be it. Let's work towards the line. Ah, yes, a 130.13. Finally, just had to put it together, and obviously the diff makes a big difference. We'll be keeping that setting as we go. And I was gonna try to continue going, but I think I don't know. I don't even know if I want to go quicker right now around here. We'll soak that in for a minute though. Finally getting the under the 1.202 time. So we're negative now. Negative now on Monza and the Brabham. So we'll have to look at where we, some already in there that I've set quicker times. So we'll have to see. Where we're at. Some folks are saying this is a chapel. Be a nice place to go to church, I think. Sunday morning, go to church. Once you're done, jump out, watch the Grand Prix. Not too bad. We'll take a quick look at the lap from the external view. 130.13, not bad at all. One here. We'll watch our polygonal car jump around the circuit. So it was lap 35 that we did it. So watch the end of 34 here. With the ultra wide, sometimes the replay views like this, a little bit cut off, so we'll see if TV2 works better. There's some newer cameras out there for the redone tracks that make it so that you can see the car better. So this is the end of lap. This is this one. This is the one before the one that we did the good time on. Let's fast forward it here a little bit. We'll come into real time as we go. Malika. Well, why don't we watch on board so we can actually see how we did it. So it'll be really small in the old video, but I can see we're hitting 180, 182, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just about 190 miles an hour to turn one. The dip off the throttle, really just lifting off the throttle, putting it into fourth. I'm waiting for the car to be lined up to go through the corner. back up to 5th gear here. Right before that gap in the line here, down to 2nd for the first Lesmo. Definitely missed the apex there, but still quick enough, I guess. Back into 2nd, up to 3rd briefly there. Could probably gear that out a little better. As good acceleration as possible. Down what I guess I'd call the back straightaway here. And up to a scar. You can take it flat out, you just gotta pitch the car and right. You can't see the apex over the rise. Dive it in, actually missing side, but not too bad, keeping it in the groove. And then working our way down the back straightaway towards the Parabolica, looking for that Coke sign on the outside. Actually broke pretty early, taking it pretty conservative after the past few attempts. And now cutting it close, getting on that throttle as soon as you can, letting it run out wide and towards the line for a good lap there. So, we've done Monza at least. I'm kind of tired a little bit from that one track, but I do want to do some more here. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this. It's maybe not so interesting watching a race around a circuit alone, but it is a lot of fun. Something I've wanted to do for a long time here. So what I'm going to do is save this whole replay. And we'll call this 30 GPL rank. Just so we have that. Replay saved. All's good. Alrighty. We'll jump out of the sim here. I'm going to export my lap times too, just to be safe. So where should we go next? Does anybody have a preference on a circuit? End our training. I think we've trained enough. Trained enough on Monza. I'm going to throw up the temp screen here. I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Leave you with some good old Italian music again. All right. So let's take a look. I pulled up, let me just turn on the music some more, make sure everyone can hear me all right. I think I've gotten rid of, let me know, nobody's been saying it, but I know earlier the mic was cutting out, so let me know if that's still happening. The music itself, yeah, it's Kevin MacLeod, Bossa Bossa. It's one of those free, bits of music that I didn't find offensive, so I decided to use videos here since the whole world is all riddled with copyright. I used to use the awesome George Harrison Faster song, but you can't do stuff like that anymore. So this is my grid, and so if we take a look at our first column here, this would show with each car what I've done. I haven't uploaded a lot of times. Obviously raced the Ferrari quite a bit. I don't know why it would be doing that. Hopefully not too bad. But so I'm going to stick with the Brabham. And so if we look, the only places I've got negative rank on the Brabham are Mexico, Kyalami, and Monza. So we could go anywhere else. I'm not going to do the Nürburgring. That would just be a lot. The problem with the Nürburgring in Grand Prix Legends is the fact that you have to do a 9-minute lap or an 8-minute lap to the pits to actually get started on your lap. So you waste so much time on the out lap. But we could go to a lot of different tracks. I might do one since it's my home track, I guess. Only a couple hours away from where I actually live. Or not a couple hours. 6 to 8 hours away from where I actually live in the U.S. Where we have to do a 106.912. I don't know if the Isle of Man's actually on a GPL rank, but I'm very, I think the rank overall is pretty cool. There's a ton of ranks. If we actually look at the you have the GPL rank, you got the challenge rank, so this opens it up to some of the other tracks that came out pretty early in Grand Prix Legends history. You've got an oval rank. That one would be interesting to try. Historic rank, so here's a bunch tracks that were popular in the time. You have the Munchausen rank, which I'm not even sure what that means. The 65 V2, so this is the difference in physics between first edition of the 65 mod and then the redone one, which would be interesting. You have a 69, a 66, a GT 67, a 69X, so this is the expanded 69 mod, an F2, 71, goes on and on. GPL 55 is the last one. I've got no times on a lot of these. Never uploaded anything. I'm uploading right now from my default player file. You upload your player file to your rank. So we're going to stick to the regular one. That's the one I've always wanted to be negative in. I think that's the one people talk about most of the time. Spa would be fun to do, but it's the Spa, the original, which is very different. Just it's not just the graphics that are bad. It's just a way different track, which I've raced on my YouTube before. But we're going to do Watkins Glen. We have to do a 1, 2. I'm going to go back to the page we were just on. So we have to do a 106.912 with the old Brabham. I do have the force feedback too. This is Gem Plus for folks that haven't really seen it before. It's kind of like a manager for Grand Prix Legends and everything that you'd need to do to the sim, enabling, disabling mods. You can select, here's all my different installs of Grand Prix Legends here. So we're using GPL default. And we're going to go to Watkins Glen now for some testing. What I'm going to do here is quick peek at where we are ratio-wise, drivetrain-wise for the default setup. 1031 in a 3421 final gear. Load up our... we'll start with this setup. We're going to go straight for the diff change. We don't want that understeering. We're going to lower the fuel for sure. 10 laps worth or something. Probably crash before then. We're going to stiffen up the front. Go down on the rear a little bit. I like to raise the ride height a little bit, which is not going to make it much quicker. I'm going to go up on the tires in the front. Get them all the same PSI. Actually, 20 around, all around. Go back to 8 ride heights. All right. We'll save this as our GPLRank 1230 setup. 16:1 steering ratio. That's what I use. All right. Oh, Watkins Glen. This track itself... but I don't find this version... I mean, it is the original, layout to the circuit, but I don't feel like it's actually extremely accurate. I don't... Overlays on some of the other circuits. Spa was hilariously off, which has been corrected. All the tracks, I mean, they were built before the satellite imagery was even a super popular thing, so can't blame them too much, but some of them, are just so inaccurate, they're kind of unbelievable. And I always wonder where this Watkins layout is. It doesn't come up too much, so it must be fairly good, but it's before they reconfigured it in the early 70s to the layout we know today. And pretty much the S's and the corner, we just went through are the only two corners that are really the same, or the two areas that are the same. Get down a second here. Slower circuit towards the end of the lap. So we're going for a 106.9 for our lap time, or 18. So just 12 seconds to knock off. Figure out our braking here for the a little too fast coming in. Through fourth gear. Fifth, we'll hug it close to the guardrail here on the inside. Right when it straightens out, we'll slam on the brakes. Get it down to second gear, all over the circuit. A little wide. Love how they put the extra pavement there to help you as you run wide. 108.75, so 2 seconds off, which is fine. I got plenty of room to improve here. Shifted up a little earlier there. You can see my brake lockup marks from the lap before there. The track will become littered with the scars of my attempts here. And this is the modern day turn 1 that we're going through right there. Improved our time nearly a second, so we're only about a second off. I'll have to check on the time. I think it's a 106.921. No, the NASCAR track is not the same layout as this, so they kicked out and changed the final turn. Ugh. Not paying attention as much to what I'm doing here. Change basically from this point on is a bit different. This corner is not here anymore. Loves dancing through the grass a bit. That's the quick line. Just kissing the dirt. Got my ideal lap here down to a 107.01, so this time might be a little easier than the Monza time was. We're sliding out very wide here. Have our ideal under the 107 mark now. I'm trying to get a good line through the corner there, but almost spinning out. Car actually feels pretty good. I don't think this one's going to be too hard to fall. Cook it like that. R.I.P. We didn't get the fuzzy. That's interesting. Normally when you flip over you get the, I saw it for a second there, but you normally get the fuzzy screen. Lights out. Alright, so we're not too far off of the time. 107.23 was our best. Our optimal is pretty good under the 106.2, so we only need to gain 0.3 or so. So this one's going to be a bit easier to get, I think. I'm not going to change anything about the car. It honestly felt alright. I'll check my tire temperatures, pressures here. Hot on the left side, but honestly it's fine. So we're going to go back out. We're going to go back out and see if we can actually do this in our second attempt this time. This corner's tricky. No braking markers. I'll have to check some of the updated versions to see if those were added in, because I feel like I remember seeing braking boards or something, but I could be. These were real men back in the 60s that didn't need some kind of signage telling them when to brake. So remember, we're on cold tires here, so it's going to take a couple laps at least. Maybe a little bit more than that. And since there's not as many high-speed slidey corners, So our ideal is under the record we need. Get into third. Here. Down into second here for the final couple of corners, back up to third. Leave it a little wide there. Racing line cuts in a little too much, I think. So 107.8, so I'm about a second off what I need. In. Feels a little slow there, but try to get on the power as early as we can for this straightaway down the back to fifth gear then. Sliding. Make the most of it there. Across the line for 107.1, so we're pretty close. Just by virtue of the tires coming up the temperature, we have the speed in the car to do it. This lap time feels much more achievable than the one at Monza was. It would be pretty on par Monza to get that. With the throttle there. Tearing down our ideal time this lap. Oh, much there into that corner. I'll try to put it together for this lap here. To slide into the S's here. To the left there is where Sever had his fatal accident. And coming over that crest just a little bit, spinning the tires, running to the left. Down to third gear here now. Too much wheel spin. I got up on that curb to the inside, but the car pitched. All strange. See if we can come around here. I think the speed is in the car. Just have to put the corners together. As Monza was, but still not a slouch time. You need to be reasonably quick to get this. Shifting up a little late, having a pretty good line through the S's. Just let it ease. Right-hander here. A little slow there on the exit, I think, but not a bad line overall. A little earlier on the brakes this time here. Lighting up the tires. So we come to the final corner, getting all kinds of... Ends up pitching the car in kind of nicely to that last corner. I'm getting across the line at a 106.73, so breaking the track record, or the time we need, not the track, but the time we need here at Watkins Glen. 106.9 has fallen. 106.7, honestly, kind of a sloppy lap, but we're able to put that one together. I want to take a look at the final sequence of corners. Pretty sideways there as we worked through. We'll jump back into the replay mode here. So we did it on our 12th laps this time, in a pretty slow, or a pretty short circuit. So we'll jump on board again and take a look here at our lap. Coming into the final corner then. Having it pretty much in second gear. Third gear then for the S's. They got a great run through the S's. That probably made the whole lap. I think both apexes go flat through the final right-hand turn here up the hill. And down the back straightaway. There's a little crease where the track kind of goes over the top right there. That's where I was doing my braking into third. A little further. That's right. It doesn't it doesn't have to be pretty, just fast. Could definitely do a quicker time through the loop there. With this left-hander, and I loved, although sloppy the entry here, I thought was good. Get it all the way down from 5th to 2nd. Sliding the car sideways there. Not a bad corner at all. Oh, car getting all kinds of sideways for the final corner, but able to pitch it in. I thought it was going to stick a little better. We were able to get across the line there for the 106.73. So not too bad of our tracks down. So we'll go ahead and save this as well. I guess I didn't put anything in the name for the Monza one, so we'll call this Watkins. And also report our times. And then we don't need them. We'll save this. So that's all I'm going to do for tonight. But I hope that was enjoyable. We'll upload the time here. I'll show everybody how that works while we're still together. But yeah, if you come into GPLRank, by the way, you can just sign up for this if you go to GPLRank. Well, this might be, well, let's make sure I save my, looks like they might be moving the site soon, but either way, you can come to the site, sign up, and start uploading, and all you do to submit your times is come in and choose your player file. So within your GPL directory, under players, your player, whoever you set up as your driver, and then pick your player any, and we'll upload that. And so we have our new time added. Watkins Glen 1967 Brabham, time 106.727. To show my ranks, and we go to the monster rank here. We see our Watkins time now. We're a 10th quicker. Could definitely get quicker on that one. I think actually pretty easy if you got the lines right. But still plenty to do. We got Monaco, Mosport, Nürburgring, Rouen. Obviously not part of the 67 season, but was part of Grand Prix Legends. The Old Spa and Zandvoort to round out for the Brabham car. I know I have some of these like Zandvoort, Silverstone, Monaco, and other cars, but I would like to get all of them in one car and maybe work on some of the other cars over time. But I think I'm going to stick with the Brabham and work on some of these other ones next. But appreciate everybody joining. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad. I'll check that out before the next stream, if and when that is, and then go on with our going negative. But appreciate everybody joining, and until next time, we'll see you later.